Jill Duggar and her husband Derick Dillard are ready to share their story. Their new book, Counting the Cost, promises to reveal the unedited truth about the Duggars and their painful journey as part of both 19 Kids and Counting and its spinoff, Counting On.
He was trying to escape.
The couple discussed why it was the right time to open up about the challenges they faced.
I didn't initially want to write this book. It was like I felt like I've craved privacy, and now I'm writing this book that's opening cans of worms that people are gonna point fingers and be like, oh, you want privacy, but now you're writing a book. Like, there's always naysayers. There's always people who are gonna just be like, why are you telling your story? But then also
at the same time, if you've already by default had your story out there and it's a version that is not what reality is, if somebody's going to tell your story, you want to at least have control over it and be the one to tell it and have your own input instead of people just taking things and running with it and making it whatever they want to.
I know I would talk to friends of mine, or we would have dinner with like friends of ours, and we just saw how telling our story, whether it was people who had lived a similar life to ours in like a similar like group that I had grown up in or whatever with IBLP, or completely different that could relate to different aspects of our story. When we would tell them our story or tell different pieces of it, it really did make a positive impact, and it helped people feel not isolated. I feel called to this. I feel like it's for this time that we are supposed to be doing this to help other people find their voice.
We talked to so many people who felt like they could relate, especially in the whole IBLP background, and even outside of that, people who had just struggled with like family or other relational situations that were very similar, and just thought, wow, this is exactly what I'm going through. So instead of doing it over and over and over, we just thought, we could write a book.
Jill and Derick reflected on some of the frustrations they've had regarding their two TLC shows.
There were certain aspects that were great, and people are quick to say, oh, look how much you benefited from the show. You wouldn't have been able to travel, which I addressed that in the book as well. Yeah. And there are definitely high points, things that we would not have been able to do without the show, but there are a lot of other things that I would not have been willing to sacrifice. If I had been given the option, I would not have wanted my birth filmed. I would not have wanted these private, emotional teenage moments filmed. And I think my parents did protect some of those moments. Like my dad would kind of step in and be like, oh, we don't want to show the kids just fighting or whatever. Like he did try and navigate some of that. But again, in the end, it's a show, and they're still going to look for, like, it's like, okay, well, which one are you going to sacrifice? It's like, you gotta provide some emotion.
When push comes to shove, like there's certain things that they're gonna get. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's like, well, we can do it in a way that's comfortable for you, but we're still gonna get it. Like, you can't just
say no altogether.
You can't just altogether say you're not doing your birth, and that was a very eye-opening experience.
The couple also opened up about their complicated relationship with some of the members of Jill's famous family.
It's complicated, and I think that is something that I would have not even said in the past, which is interesting. Like, I wouldn't have even said like I am on bad terms with my family or that it's complicated, because that would be a negative, and that upbringing, like that would shed a negative light on things. But now I'm like, yeah, it is complicated, it is difficult, and recognizing that and being able to verbalize that, sometimes it's still hard to say, but my relationship with my parents, I would say it's more complicated. With my dad, still difficult. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, so I don't have one-on-one contact with him at all.
He would reach out to her individually, and he knew her buttons because she's his daughter, and knew like
it's a cyclical thing.
Knew the history, and like he would, play these really emotional buttons.
I have to set healthy boundaries, and for our own health and well-being, we love him. We just have to have certain things in place right now. With my mom, like I've seen my mom and some of my sisters at birthday get-togethers and stuff. Some of my other siblings are supportive, like kind of behind closed doors a little. And then other ones have concerns, and I see them and I feel that too. And And I think to myself, I'm like, I was in their shoes not long ago, so I realize that and I feel that. And for the long haul, I don't want to single them out and make them feel bad for their concerns, because I think that was me not long ago, and everybody is on their journey and it's going to look different. And so I hope for the future that we can restore some of these relationships and be in a healthier place moving forward.
Given Jill's unique upbringing, she and Derick have decided to protect their 3 sons from social media, at least for now.
We just try and keep them out. Like, I don't know, it's been this weird journey for us where we it's hard to figure out. Like, growing up on TV, I don't always know what's right. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm like, I crave a level of privacy that I wasn't given. But also we're in such a generation where everybody's like posting everything, like sometimes oversharing their lives on social media. It's like, what's the new normal? So we've kind of taken a step back with our kids to not include them in so much like of the spotlight, just to kind of protect them. And
Until they're old enough to,
at least for now, I don't even know. Like, it's not like some huge decision. It was literally like, I don't know how I feel about it. So until I know, I'm just gonna, like, I'm still processing all of it. And until I know better, I'm just not gonna say a whole lot about them and talk a whole lot about them. And occasionally I'll post swimming here or there, but parenting is hard.
For more about Jill Duggar and Derick Dillard, pick up this week's issue of People on newsstands Friday.